Margaret Atwood's 1985 dystopian text titled The Handmaid's Tale evokes themes of gender and patriarchy through visual imagery and motifs, more so in relation to their status and role in Gilead's authoritarian landscape, imposed upon women through strictly upheld societal norms. Offred, for example, one of many handmaids present throughout the novel, and a point of focus sports a similar attire to her fellow handmaids, that being a long, flowing crimson-red dress, topped with a white bonnet. The heavy use of red symbolizes fertility and blood, a portrayal of their role as reproductive vessels for society, whilst the white bonnet aims to obscure their face and limit peripheral vision, emphasizing their dehumanization and utter lack of individuality. On the other hand, commanders typically dressed in dark, formal attire as to project their power and authority in contrast to the handmaid's degrading uniform. Atwood speaks of the dehumanizing aspect of Offred's uniform through use of high modality, evident in the line, quote-unquote, "We must look good from a distance, like Dutch milkmaids on wallpaper, or any pattern with minimum grace and uniformity," end quote, which only further speaks upon how their design was only meant to soothe the eyes of the powerful. Furthermore, erasing any sense of individual identity, outlining their purpose in society as nothing more than reproductive vessels for their commanders through color, that being a blood-like red crimson covering the majority of their uniform. Atwood speaks of Offred's role as a handmaid, describing such role through her use of visual imagery, evident in the line, quote-unquote, "a sister dipped in blood," end quote. Offred, describing her reflection whilst in her new room, contemplates her being, more so its narrow purpose, as her blood-like clothing is symbolic of her reproductive expectations. Offred highlights the duality of a handmaid's existence. First off, the unlikely sisterhood amongst handmaids, formed through patriarchal regulation and similarity in uniform, and secondly, how they have been marked by the blood of their reproductive role in Gilead's authoritarian system. In summary, Atwood's dystopian text, The Handmaid's Tale, explores themes of gender and patriarchy through visual imagery and recurring motifs, in reference to their sole purpose of reproduction as upheld by Gilead's heavily enforced norms amongst society.